Okay, so officially welcome to tonight's workshop, and I'm super excited about this workshop because it is one of the more favorite classes that I've done over the years. And I was just saying to someone who's watching at the moment that this workshop was actually largely responsible for the birth of our little baby girl. So it was a really successful workshop for me personally, and even though I ran it, and also a lot of people that came along got a lot out of it as well. Like there was a lot of revelations and insight and everything. So hopefully it can be the same for you guys 2 years on. I've made a couple of little tweaks, but it's in essence pretty much the same workshop. So let's get started. I love you, and thank you so much for watching tonight or today or whenever you're watching it. One of the things in my journey through essential oils, through yoga teacher training, through a lot of the philosophy and research and practice and things that I've done is learning to openly love and accept, loving the self, loving others, and how powerful that is. And really introducing that, and especially being a man as well, introducing that to other men has been a really cool thing. Even with my father, and teaching him about forgiveness and unconditional love and acceptance, and focusing on positivity and all these things. So it's been a real shift and change, and something I need to work on constantly because I've been programmed to be in that male, that masculine energy, which you can be masculine and loving and accepting as well. And this is something that is the rise of the new consciousness in Earth, on Earth, that it's cool to be a part of. So these are just some of the things that we're going to be covering today. Talking a little bit about the heart chakra. So we do chakra balancing classes. We're going to talk about that. Love yourself and some ways you can do that. The 5 love languages. So this is a really cool book by Gary Chapman that I read. It would have been around about 2 years ago, actually. And there's a very popular test called the 5 love languages, funnily enough, test for couples and singles. There's also one for children as well. So we'll talk a bit about that, and then we're going to make a love potion too, which I actually have already made up myself and applied, and I'm telling you, it is very grounding and calming and opening. So I can't wait to share that with you guys, and hope you enjoy it. So the heart chakra, and just to touch quickly just on the chakra system. So the chakra system, anybody can utilize the chakra system. You don't have to be of a Hindu belief. It's purely just yoga philosophy. And the yoga philosophy is under the belief that we have a energy system within our bodies composed of 7 main points, starting from the base chakra at the base of our spine through to the sacral, which is located around our reproductive organs, and then our solar plexus in our stomach, our heart chakra in our chest or heart region, throat, third eye, and crown. But we're going to be focusing on the heart today. And as you can see, it's all about the self-acceptance and the loving. And, when you think of that, how often sometimes do you beat yourself up? For instance, you might make a mistake at work, or one of the projects you got going on at home, and you say to yourself, "Oh, Byron, you idiot," or you might even be a little bit more profane. And this is something that once I've become more aware of that inner mental dialogue of what's going through my head and what I'm saying to myself, and basically sending to myself these messages. Some of them aren't so favorable. So something I do is when I, beat myself up, I provide that love and just go, no, it's okay. That's fine. I love you. We can come up with a solution here. So that self-acceptance is so important. So some of the attributes of having a good open heart chakra. You can see here self-love, heart opening. There's peace. You have harmony. You're good with forgiveness. Now, just touching on forgiveness, usually when there is some form of healing to be done on an emotional level, it starts with forgiveness. So I'll touch on this a couple of times throughout the presentation. I've just had a confirmation tingle there about forgiveness, how important that is to forgive yourself. A really good affirmation and practice you can bring into your life. And you can do it at any time of the day. I like to do it when I go to bed, and I just say to myself, I forgive you for anything that you have done knowingly and unknowingly. I forgive myself, and I forgive others for whatever they've done knowingly and unknowingly. doTERRA actually does a blend called Forgive. There was a clinical trial and test done with this essential oil blend in a integrative oncology unit, and basically what that means is a holistic cancer treatment center. And they found that Forgive, diffusing and using Forgive essential oil time and time again provided profound results in this practice for both the patients and also the staff as well. So forgiveness, just cannot stress enough how important that is to forgive and let go of others and yourself. Anything that you're holding, any resentment. I have a belief that this is has a lot to answer for on an emotional level for heart disease and heaviness, rigidity, hard. You think about atherosclerosis and things, or heart conditionings where the heart is hardened, and it makes sense when you have some resentment and hardening of the heart. Then to soften and to open it, it only makes sense that this is going to alleviate some of the issues that we might be experiencing with heart disease. So you can see some balanced energy there: empathetic, compassionate, friendly, outgoing, charitable, secure with the self, and unconditionally loving and serving others. Service is so important. So these are some of the associated disease that we have with out of balance heart chakra. We won't focus on that too much, but you can see some pretty common ones there: high blood pressure, heart attack, lung and breathing issues as well, being in that chest cavity. But some ways that you can balance the heart chakra, and some of my favorite ways, just doing a heart opening exercise. And if you're into yoga, you've got your warrior poses, or just opening the chest and really breathing into your chest and bringing that love into your world, into your life, and sharing it. So do some of these practices on a daily basis. Apply the essential oils to your heart, and use them in a combination with some affirmations as well. My favorite affirmation, and easy to remember, is I'm giving and receiving love openly, effortlessly, and unconditionally. And by this stage, you might be thinking, I thought this was a Valentine's Day workshop and Byron was going to tell me how I'm going to find love in my life. And there's going to be a bit of a running theme in this workshop, and I'm sorry to break it to you, but it all starts with loving yourself. So you love yourself and you do what you're passionate about, and you start to shine your light to the world, then you're going to attract and bring the love of your life into your life. So you can see some other things here that we can do to balance our heart chakra. Play with cuddly pets, watch tender movies, count your blessings, be grateful. If you're experiencing any sort of anxiety, break anxiety with gratitude. One thing that I've done over the years is root down 3 positive gratitudes, things that I'm grateful for on a daily basis. I just roll out of bed, first thing I do, 3 things, positive gratitudes, And it could be anything simple, like roof over my head, a fridge full of food. I've got so much food. I can just get it anytime I want. My family who's always there for me. I'm grateful for these things. Um, and singing, counting your blessings. There's so many things you can do to balance your heart chakra. These are some of the oils that are really good at balancing the heart chakra. One that I would add into there would be ylang ylang, which we're actually going to be using in our blend today. I'm going to show you how to make. But certainly all of those respiratory oils are really good, as well as peppermint, so easy air. We've got rose, which is just about good for everything and very high in its vibrational state. So highest known natural occurring frequency, 320 hertz. We apply that, our vibrational state just instantly corrects itself or increases, and we just start to vibrate at this high level. You'll see people magnetized to you, smile. You can't help but smile. So some really powerful oils that you can use in your chakra balancing with your heart, in combination with affirmations. So these are some of the affirmations that you can use if you wanted to delve a little bit more into affirmations and some look at some options around affirmations. And I encourage you to also do something that resonates with you. So it might be something that you make up. One affirmation or mantra that I like to use as well is I expand in love, abundance, and success every day as I inspire those around me to do the same. And this is something that I can use regularly throughout the day to just correct my course if I feel like I'm being a little bit negative or down, or just into that dark space. Then I can just correct myself, connecting through to my heart, opening, and using these affirmations. So this is something that I just actually added in today, which I have been using, and we are faced with challenges sometimes in relationships with people. We are people that have relationships with other people. It's it's not healthy to go and hide yourself into a dark room and never come out and never see the light of day and interact with the community and other people. So there's going to be situations where the natural human behaviors are going to create forms of resentment and dislike or hate or spite and jealousy. So these are all emotions that we want to move through. And a really great practice which came out of Hawaii called Ho'oponopono, and this was actually devised by a Hawaiian therapist who cured an entire ward of criminally insane patients, and without even meeting them. And the therapist, Dr. Len, he just purely looked at these people's files, and then he held these people, by putting out there the forgiveness and the love and the acceptance of these people, and sending that love out. And it's hard to fathom on an energetic level how powerful this is until you've actually experienced it. And it could be just within yourself. You don't have to go and heal the wards of psychiatric patients. You can just start with yourself. And one of the profound things that I've come to learn and realize as well is, we are totally responsible for our lives. We are creating them. So, everything that you're thinking and doing and choices that you're making in your life, you're responsible for those, So, you're creating, you are the creator of what you are bringing into your world, which is kind of hard to swallow at first when, you think that, life just isn't really going your way, and it's not your fault. But to take responsibility, by taking that responsibility, you're actually taking the first step towards changing it. rather than blaming it and putting it out there, and continually to actually bring in that negativity and things that you don't want in your life by focusing on the negative and blaming others, rather than putting into place things that you can do. And, it's as simple as saying these 4 very powerful statements as you hold space with whatever you want to heal. So this could be for yourself, and I suggest, doing this for yourself before you start to do it for others too. So simply, if you feel resentment, a negative emotion towards anyone or anything, then hold that, visualize that person, the situation, assess how it makes you feel, and then, simply go through, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. And you can say this a couple of times. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And really, as you're saying these things, you don't have to say them out loud. You can say it in front of the mirror. You can just keep it internal. You can do it at any time of the day. If something, a situation is really irritating you, connect into your heart, connect into this chest cavity. An easy way to do that is just by breathing and feeling the sensation of the breath fill your lungs. It's not a thought, it's a feeling. Feel into your heart brain, and then use these affirmation statements to work through some of this resentment and pain that might be causing you issues in your life, or at that point, at that moment. So practice it. It takes practice, and you need to do it on a daily basis as well. Do it at least for 30 days. And I promise that the pain will reside, it will release, it will let go, it will minimize, at least, if not completely vanish. And you'll know when it's gone, when the person, the subject, when it comes up again in the future. You may respond through body language. You may respond through a feeling, an emotion. You'll know when the healing's done, and if you need to still do more work. So just be really aware of that. So another huge thing that's helped me in my my journey in opening the heart, loving the self, unconditional love and acceptance, forgiveness, is Louise Hay's work with positive affirmation statements, or I am statements. And I just wanted to talk about a couple of ways that you can love yourself. And this is the teachings of Louise Hay. So stopping criticism. We talked a little bit about this before. So don't beat yourself up if something goes wrong. Just accept that at that point in time. It's okay. Just focus on the solution and just love yourself. And forgiving yourself. This ties in with the criticism. If you're holding on to something within yourself, you're gonna cause some issues physically and emotionally. So just learn to forgive. Practice that statement. I forgive myself and I forgive others for anything they have done knowingly or unknowingly. Sometimes people do things that really grind your gears, and they don't even know it does, because it's all happening in here or in here. And the only way that you can actually work through that is by acknowledging it and dealing with it by either asking that person, hey, this situation, it kind of frustrates me a bit. Is it possible if we could just change that up a bit? That could be a resolution, or it could be just purely working on releasing it within yourself too. It could be just a little idiosyncrasy that you need to just a condition, not you, just a condition that you've inherited along the way in your journeys of something that you've picked up from an adult, most likely a role model in your life, and you've taken that on board because they're the person you're modeling, you're mirroring, and you too start to hate monkeys. Let's just say they hate monkeys. I hate monkeys. I hate monkeys too, because they're just, so it's them, it's their condition that you've inherited. And, to become aware of that and release that and let go can be really alleviating, really uplifting. So just be aware of that. Be gentle, kind, and patient. I think this goes without saying how powerful the practice of patience and gentle feminine energy can really be. I was in a midwife ward or a maternity ward today. My sister-in-law just gave birth to her baby boy, and it's exactly the same place that Renee and I gave birth to our baby girl. And the reason why these midwives are so amazing at their work is they hold this space of feminine energy and love and gentle and patience. And it's in comparison to, say, like the male or masculine energy, where it's very structured and time based, and it puts a lot of pressure on these women in the maternity wards, and their bodies start to lock up, they stiffen, and all of a sudden, this act of birth, which is a real opening and relaxing, and it requires the body and the universe to just let go, to just let go of whatever you're trying to control and allow this baby to come out. And unless we approach this with gentle, kind, loving nature and patience, then we're really going to be restricting that. So that's something that's really important to bring into every moment. So I find spending time with my little baby girl is a really good awareness around infants and children, being patient and present with them and watching them, how they are just learning, and they are completely in the moment. They're not thinking about the bills and the this and the that and the relationships and the resentment, and they are completely innocent and loving, pure love, these beings. So a great way to connect through to your heart is spending time with little babies. So be kind to your mind, very similar to what we've just discussed about the self-criticism. Don't hate yourself for having thoughts, because like I've said, it's these are conditions that we've just picked up. They're not you, it's just things that you've picked up through the years, and you can work through it. Just be aware. The first step is to start to just really notice the record player tapes or CDs, MP3s these days that are going through your head, and they might be of self-doubt and self-hatred. And those messages, you've got to be really aware of those messages that you're sending your body and your heart, because it's listening. So if you're sending stress to your body, to your mind, or through your mind, then your body is going to respond. It's going to respond through rigidity, through adrenaline, through really trying to survive. That fight or flight state is what your body is going to go into. So praising yourself, really giving yourself praise whenever something goes well, even if it's going to the mirror and just saying, well done, Byron, that was awesome. You totally done it. Not always relying on other people to give it to you. It's okay to self-praise yourself, even if you're just writing it down. Depending on the person you are, sometimes writing it down is really good. And it's the same with letting things go, writing things down. You can even burn what you've written down to let it go, or scrunch it up, chuck it in the bin, keep it so you can reflect on it, whatever works. Taking care of your body, obviously this is a no-brainer. We're all very upbeat and aware of how important nutrition and exercise and all the things that we put in and around our body is. I think as a population, we are learning and really evolving in that nature. So don't really need to go into that so much about taking care of your body and how important that is. But just to reflect on what we're putting into our body in terms of nutrition. Think about what we're putting into our body in terms of thoughts as well. I believe that, what we're ingesting in terms of our thoughts and our words is just as important as the food that we put into our mouths. So if you're really focused on what you're putting into your mouth and your diet, and you might be stressing about it, you're actually sometimes might be causing more trouble than good by stressing about your food and your diet, because you've got to be mindful of your mental diet. Louise Hay, big on mirror work, mentioned it a couple of times. If you've got some positive things to say, do it in front of the mirror, do it smiling, and really connect in with yourself. Look into your eyes. I love you. One of Louise Hay's most famous affirmation statements, where she encourages people to start, is all is well. Everything is working out for its highest good. Only good can come from this situation, and I am safe. So this is an affirmation that you can use when it feels like the world is falling down around you, and you don't know what to do. It's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Why is everything going wrong? Why me? It's always me, and everyone hates me, and I hate myself. And just stop, because you're not doing yourself any favors, and use that affirmation. And we talked about loving yourself. Just do it now. Action is way more powerful than theory. So it's going to feel weird at first. It's going to feel really strange to stand in front of a mirror and use these affirmations, and you might think it's hocus pocus. If you're a dude and you're skeptical, or female that's skeptical, read about Bruce Lipton's Biology of Belief, all about epigenetics and how they've actually scientifically looked at studies on the effect of emotions and thoughts and behaviors, of how we can change our cellular structure and our epigenetics, what we actually have control over, because we're creating our lives and our bodies and the people that we are. It's all scientifically proven. Dr. Emoto, he's also done some studies as well. So don't think this is just airy-fairy, mumbo jumbo, waffly stuff. It's we're actually learning how to scientifically prove this, and a lot more people are becoming open, receptive, and gaining results. And I think most importantly, have fun with it. Don't take too seriously. Once it becomes stressful, once again, just like the nutrition thing, if you miss a day where, you're going to have down days, but people, of human nature, we go up and down, up and down. That's just what we do. But what we're trying to do is just minimize that up and down, that bipolar response, extremely happy, extremely down, extremely happy, extremely down, just bringing it down to a nice, balanced, even flow through life. So yeah, smile, laugh, have fun, do some laughing yoga. One of the best ways to heal and get those natural peptides and hormones, chemicals released into our bodies, is just by bringing the size of our mouths up to our ears, and our bodies just release these feel-good feelings and hormones into our bodies. So give it a go. It's definitely something worth trying. So the 5 love languages. I lent this book to my sister, and she recently returned it to me and said, that book caused some serious discussion. When she said serious discussion, I think it caused some arguments, but it's something, I guess, that I find really powerful to be aware of, because by knowing your partner's love language, so it gives you the advantage of knowing what to say and what to do to speak your partner's love language. And it's, it is slightly different for singles as it is for couples. And there's 2 tests. There's one here for couples, and there's one here for singles. And so Renee and I did the couples one this afternoon, and we have done it before, probably about 2 years ago when I read this book and I did this presentation. And I definitely found that my love languages were slightly different because, life changes, things change. It's we've had children, we've got a thriving business together, and and things change. So I asked Renee, do you mind doing the love languages test again, just to see how we're going. And Renee's changed as well. So. Before I actually tell you the results, I'll just tell you a little bit about the book. So the 5 love languages, basically it's based around the fact that we kind of have the life through, rose-colored glasses, I think the saying is, where when we do fall in love with somebody, they can pretty much do no wrong. And you might have some people around you just saying, oh, yeah, that guy that you're seeing, have you noticed how he's like, pretty arrogant? And you might think, just don't be silly. No, he's an angel. He's a darling. He's never done anything wrong. And it's because this is an adaptation. This is once again proven that the honeymoon period is real. The honeymoon period, the person that you're falling in love with, they can do no wrong. So this is a really interesting thing that some people around you might be picking up on, but it's never nice to ruin something beautiful that's happening for someone. But so to know about this honeymoon period, I think is really powerful, especially as we're in relationships, long-term relationships, and love actually becomes a practice. It becomes a choice to choose to speak and know your partner's love language. In order to speak your partner's love language, you need to know what it is. So, one of the things that it is actually really good about doing this test is you get to learn your partner's love language. And once you know it, then you actually, you're speaking the right love language to them. So we're going to do a little bit of a test about learning your love language, which you can do by going to the website, The 5 Love Languages. I'll share the URL just at the end after going through these 5 love languages. So the first one is words of affirmation. So this might be when someone gives you compliments. It makes you feel really good when someone says, Byron, you've done a really good job. I really appreciate you. I really look up to you for, your creativity, just showering you with all of these compliments. This is words of affirmation. If this makes you feel good, you're most likely a words of affirmation person. I think everybody likes a little bit of words of affirmation, and I haven't really met anybody stone cold hard enough to really not love words of affirmation. So quality time, one of the things that I've learned by doing this is you're more likely to actually be speaking your love language. So I'm just going to go ahead and just tell you what my love languages are. So I've had the results of words of affirmation as my number 1. I love to be showered with good compliments. And my number 2 used to be physical touch. And this isn't to be confused with of sexual nature, but it's quite common for men for physical touch to be number 1 or in the top 2. But my love language, second love language now, like 2 close scoring ones, is acts of service. And I think this has really changed for me from physical touch, is because life has changed. We've got a baby, we've got a business. So now acts of service mean so much more to me than being touched, funnily enough. So don't be scared to revisit the test. So if Renee wants to love me, she needs to speak words of affirmation and do a couple of acts of service. If she says, right, I'm going to make you feel good, we're going to go spend some quality time together, then this isn't going to be my ideal love language, right? Whereas on the other side, Renee's love languages are, number one, quality time. Number two is words of affirmation. So we both got that same commonality in terms of words of affirmation. We need to shower each other with positive words of affirmation. But in order for me to speak Renee's love language, I need to make the time and effort to spend quality time with Renee. And something we actually implemented is a day, a family day, where we just spend time as family. We don't do any work, anything like that. One day a week where we just hang out as a family and we just have a good time together. We might go bike riding or hiking or go to the beach, maybe go to the cafe for lunch or something like that. But actually making the time and effort to speak the love language is so important. So in essence, that's what quality time is. That's what the partner wants. They want to spend quality time with you. If you're sharing them with words of affirmation and they're a quality time person, then guess what? Those words of affirmation aren't really going to be received because they just want to spend time with you. Receiving gifts. So, don't feel that it's greedy and selfish for this to be one of your love languages. It can be something simple, like something you've picked up from the beach, some shells, some driftwood, a feather that you've picked up off while you're walking in the park, that you give to your loved one, that makes the gift remind you of them when you're giving it to them. So don't think that you need to go out and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on showering your partner with gifts if their love language is receiving gifts. But yeah, just make it meaningful. You can even go and create something, do a painting, create something out of the driftwood and the shells that you may have found on the beach. This will really be speaking the love language of somebody who likes to receive gifts. So acts of service, and I believe this is something that really comes up as and changes in a relationship as you have children. As life becomes a little bit more busy and complicated, acts of service, it can be as simple as just doing the dishes or doing something that the partner does usually on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. It's one of their chores, but you just go about and you just do it. You've just done it and they don't have to do it because you've just helped them out. Just say that you don't have to go and make a big thing out of it. They're going to know that you've done it because it's been done when they go to do it. So acts of service, an easy one to achieve this. With our lives are full of chores and things that we have to do. So have a look at how you can serve your loved one and how you can provide acts of service if acts of service is one of their love languages. So physical touch, and like I said earlier, this doesn't necessarily have to be of sexual nature, and it actually shouldn't be confused with touch of sexual nature. And this is a common thing for guys when they do the love language test. They'll just they are more sexually orientated into generalize than females, and they'll just think, oh well, I just want sex, I want touch, and blah blah blah. So it's quite common for the guys to be a physical touch, where it's not to be confused with just holding hands or, receiving a hug or a massage or, just having your partner touch your leg when you're sitting beside them. This is a loving, simple, unsexual way of expressing love through the love language of physical touch. And I'm finding, more and more this day and age, as we become separated, as I'm speaking to you guys over the internet, we are becoming very separated as a community. And one of the things that's really missing is physical touch, and it's become very foreign in a lot of people's lives. Having that physical touch isn't present anymore. So do bring it back into your life, into your relationships. So to find out what your love languages are, just simply go to that website, 5lovelanguages.com, and and have a look at the tests that are there. Like I said, there's ones for adults, there's ones for children, there's ones for couples, and there's ones for singles. So don't take it too seriously. Don't let it cause arguments like it did for my sister. But it's a really powerful thing that you can find out about your partner that will help bring love into your life and continue that through your life and through the stages that you move through in your relationship. So I wanted to finish off our little workshop today by going through a blend that has been made up by one of our friends in doTERRA, Vanessa Jean. She's the owner and of Food Alchemy with her husband Paul Ovens. So she does fantastic blend and specifically more topical blend applications, and she's really famous for aromatic dressings. So this is actually an aromatic dressing that you guys can do. So you can make it up into a rollerball. And with that dose that you see on the screen there, 2 drops of ylang ylang, 1 drop of patchouli, 2 of Hawaiian sandalwood, 1 drop of wild orange with fractionated coconut oil. That's designed to actually go into a aromatic dressing bowl. And it doesn't need to be a fancy wooden one like this. It can just be something from the bowl drawer or a small little ceramic bowl that you've got left over. And you just put your oils in there and your fractionated coconut oil and you dip and you apply the essential oils. So depending on how you like to roll, I'm going to do a little demonstration on how we can actually do a aromatic dressing. So bear with me for a second. I'm just going to stop this little share as we do an aromatic dressing together. So bear with me here. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to show you the aromatic dressing bowl. So what we do is we get 2 drops of ylang ylang and 1 drop of patchouli, which our hippie friends absolutely adore. I have a lot of people say as soon as they smell patchouli, it's okay if you get a bonus drop as well, who smell patchouli, oh, it reminds me of the 60s. Because they use patchouli like it was going out of fashion for everything. So this is Hawaiian sandalwood. You can use normal sandalwood. If you're going to use Hawaiian sandalwood and get the doTERRA Hawaiian sandalwood, then I highly recommend using your points. So that's your best points bang for buck. You get, I think it's like $110 usually, wholesale, but it's only 70 points to claim that one. So we add 2 of those. Really good for protecting your aura as well, the Hawaiian sandalwood. So when you're exposed to negative energies in the workplace, could be at home as well, it's great to just keep that boosted. So 1 drop of wild orange. Like I said, if you get bonus drops, it's okay. Just with the citrus as well, if you're going to apply and rub citrus all over your body, don't apply it to areas that are going to be exposed to the sun. So it does increase photosensitivity. So if you get, say, grapefruit or wild orange and you rub it all over your face and then you go into the sun, you're actually going to burn a whole lot faster than if you didn't use a citrus oil. So it does increase photosensitivity using the citrus. So Vanessa Jean has said 10 mils of the fractionated coconut oil. I don't go and measure that 10 mils. I just sort of give it a little bit of a squirt. Remember, we're doing our whole bodies here for the this demonstration purposes. I'm just going to explain it and sort of show you a little bit. I might just have to adjust the camera, so bear with me for a second while I come back here. So we've got our aromatic dressing bowl, and you guys may have heard of dry body brushing. So the way that we do it is we just grab our essential oil and we dip and we rub and we apply, starting from our right leg. And you can do this straight out of the shower as well. So as soon as you come out of the shower, this is a really good thing to do and apply to your body, working up the leg, up the thigh, onto your bum. I'm not going to get my bum out. So onto your bum, you're going to rub it into your bum. Give yourself and your bum a little bit of love affirmation as well. So if you love your bum, you can let it know, I love you, bum. I love you exactly the way you are. I love your legs. Working your way up, once again, up your legs, onto your bum, onto your lower back. And then we want to once again work on our limbs that are the furthest away from our heart. So we come to our right arm, and we apply it to our right arm, working in towards our shoulder, our left arm, starting to get towards the heart. And then we work from our body and we work up towards the heart. So as we bring it up to the heart, what we're doing is we're actually stimulating our lymphatic system, because the lymphatic system doesn't actually have the ability to be able to move the fluids around our bodies. It actually needs movement and stimulation. And as you guys know, the lymphatic system is really important. It's part of our endocrine system, our glandular system, and it's responsible for so many things. So using that stimulation with the aromatic dressing is a really good way to stimulate that, and it's a really good thing to just bring into your daily life, to do this aromatic dressing when you jump out of the shower, and give yourself a bit of love and affirmations at the same time. An affirmation you can use along with that aromatic dressing is, I'm pure unconditional love. I trust in me. I trust in love. I'm a magnet for loving, joyful, harmonious, and deeply connecting relationships. Love-making and sacred union with my beloved brings me joy and deeper loving. So that's a pretty long one to remember. Try writing it on your bathroom mirror if that's something that you want to use on a daily basis with this aromatic dressing. Another really popular aromatic dressing that I recommend to just start out with is 2 drops of each of lavender, frankincense, and wild orange, and just applying it in the same fashion. And if you want a bit of a demonstration on how to do an aromatic dressing, then just do a Google on Vanessa Jean aromatic dressing, and you'll get a YouTube video. She'll guide you through how to do it. So without further ado, I would like to thank you guys so much for joining me and watching this presentation. Just wanted to let you know that Renee and I, we love you, and we're here for you and anything that you need, any questions that you guys have. We're more than happy to share some of our experiences and little tips and learnings that we've gained along the way in our adventure. So once again, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you bring love into your life and to make it long lasting. And thank you.